For generations, the United States was the undisputed king of global wheat, feeding nations worldwide and shaping the very foundation of international grain markets. American wheat fields once symbolized abundance and prosperity, stretching as far as the eye could see. But that dominance is fading fast, as the landscape of global agriculture shifts beneath our feet. Today, American wheat farmers face mounting challenges and a steady decline, while Canada rises as a new powerhouse, seizing opportunities that once belonged to the U.S. wheat exports, once the industry's bedrock, are now at historic lows, projected to just 11% of the global market, a dramatic drop from decades past. In late 2023, global buyers canceled more U.S. wheat orders than they placed, a rare and troubling sign that highlights the shifting tides in international trade. The U.S. is now importing millions of metric tons of Canadian wheat and wheat products to fill domestic gaps, a reversal that would have been unthinkable just a generation ago. This shift is driven by a complex mix of global economics, climate change, and changing consumer tastes, all of which are reshaping the wheat industry at its core. The strong U.S. dollar, aggressive Russian exports, and a global pivot to high-protein wheat have all played a role, making it harder for American wheat to compete. Canada's focus on high-quality spring wheat, combined with favorable growing conditions and innovative farming practices, has given it a clear edge in the global market. The U.S. wheat industry is being forced to reckon with a new reality, searching for ways to adapt and remain relevant in a rapidly changing world. The era of American wheat supremacy is over, leaving behind memories of a time when the U.S. was the world's breadbasket. Canada is now writing the next chapter in North American agriculture, setting new standards for quality and export success. The world's wheat map has been redrawn, and the future of wheat now points north. The global wheat market is more competitive than ever, with new players and shifting preferences changing the landscape at a rapid pace. U.S. farmers are losing ground, facing challenges that threaten their livelihoods and the future of American wheat. A strong U.S. dollar makes American wheat expensive for foreign buyers, putting it out of reach for many countries that once relied on it. Now, those buyers turn to Russia, the EU, or Canada for better deals, as these countries offer more competitive prices and often more favorable trade terms. Even a small price difference can cost the U.S. major sales, as global buyers are quick to switch suppliers for even modest savings. Russia has flooded the market with cheap wheat, capturing a huge share of global exports and reshaping the balance of power in the wheat trade. The U.S. is no longer the default supplier. Buyers now weigh price, quality, and reliability, carefully comparing options before making deals. U.S. market share is forecast to hit a historic low of 11%, a dramatic drop from decades past when American wheat dominated world trade. Quality is another issue. Global demand is shifting to high-protein wheat, which Canada excels at producing, making it the preferred choice for many food manufacturers. Many U.S. wheat varieties, especially winter wheat, struggle to meet these new standards, falling short in both protein content and consistency. In 2023, cancellations of U.S. wheat orders outpaced new sales, signaling a loss of confidence among international buyers and a troubling trend for exporters. For American farmers, this is a tough reality. The old ways no longer work, and adapting to new market demands is more urgent than ever. The world wants better wheat at a better price, and the U.S. is falling behind, losing out to countries that are quicker to innovate and respond. Canada's high-protein wheat is now the gold standard, setting the benchmark for quality and reliability in the global market. The U.S. must adapt, investing in research and new farming techniques, or it will continue to lose ground in this rapidly changing industry. The global wheat market has moved on, and the competition is only getting tougher. American wheat is no longer the world's first choice, and unless changes are made, it may never reclaim its former dominance. The U.S. wheat industry's struggles are decades in the making. Since 1981, 42 million acres once devoted to wheat have shifted to other crops. U.S. wheat production is down by 800 million bushels compared to the early 1980s. Corn and soybeans, with better returns and stronger demand, have replaced wheat across much of the Midwest and Great Plains. Technological advances in corn and soybeans have far outpaced those in wheat, widening the yield gap. Wheat's economic appeal has faded, and so has its global presence. The U.S. is no longer the world's breadbasket but just one of many suppliers. This slow retreat has opened the door for new leaders. Canada is now filling the vacuum for high-quality wheat. the American wheat era is fading into history. As U.S. wheat declines, Canada has quietly become a global wheat powerhouse. U.S. imports of Canadian wheat, once negligible, now average over 2 million metric tons a year. Canada also exports over 1 million metric tons of wheat products like pasta to the U.S. annually. The Pembina, North Dakota border crossing alone saw 44 million bushels of Canadian wheat enter the U.S. in 2024. Canadian hard red spring wheat, prized for its high protein, is now essential for U.S. millers. 75% of Canadian wheat production is this premium variety. Canada's focus on quality, not just quantity, has paid off. Rigorous grading and marketing systems ensure buyers get consistent, high-quality wheat. Canada's reliability stands in contrast to the variability of U.S. winter wheat. Strategic focus and natural advantages have made Canada the new wheat leader. The North American wheat throne has shifted north. Canada is now the supplier the world trusts. North America's wheat fields are changing, with spring wheat now taking center stage. For 2024 to 2025, spring wheat production in the U.S. and Canada surpassed all U.S. winter wheat varieties. The demand for high-protein wheat, especially hard red spring, is driving this shift. Bakers and millers want strong, elastic dough for artisanal breads and are willing to pay more for it. Canada's prairies are ideal for growing this premium wheat, thanks to their cool nights and sunny days. Spring wheat now makes up 75% of Canadian wheat. The U.S. Northern Plains also grow spring wheat, but winter wheat still dominates elsewhere. The economic center of wheat is shifting north to North Dakota, Montana, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. Infrastructure and markets are adapting to spring wheat's new dominance. Quality now matters more than sheer volume. The rise of spring wheat is redrawing the map of North American grain. Canada leads the way in the wheat the world wants. The U.S. and Canada both play major roles in the global wheat market, but the grains they produce are surprisingly different, and quality is the key difference that sets them apart. Canada's reputation is built on high-protein, hard red spring wheat, thanks to strict grading and rigorous quality control. Canadian wheat is known for its consistency, making it a favorite among millers and bakers worldwide. The U.S. grows a wider range of wheat types, from soft white to hard red and durum. But this diversity can mean more variability in quality from region to region and even year to year. The northern climate of the Canadian prairies and U.S. northern plains is perfect for growing high-protein wheat, with cool nights and long summer days that help boost grain quality. In contrast, the U.S. Great Plains face more volatile weather, including droughts and storms, which can impact both yield and protein levels, making it harder to guarantee consistent quality. As climate extremes increase, the North's advantage grows, giving Canadian wheat an edge in reliability and quality. Modern consumers want high-protein flour for artisanal breads and pastas, and bakers are demanding more from their ingredients than ever before. Canada's focus on this premium market has paid off. High-protein wheat commands a premium price, and Canadian wheat is now sought after by buyers around the world. U.S. wheat isn't inferior, but it serves different purposes. Soft wheat is ideal for pastries and cakes, while durum is prized for pasta. Each type has its own market and strengths. The biggest and most lucrative market, however, is for bread flour, where Canada consistently excels and sets the standard. U.S. millers now blend Canadian wheat with domestic wheat to meet rising quality standards, ensuring their flour meets the demands of both commercial and artisanal bakers. The two nations' wheat industries are diverging, shaped by climate, consumer demand, and the evolving needs of the global food industry. Canada's strategy is perfectly aligned with what the world wants: reliable, high-protein wheat for premium products. The U.S. is now a buyer, not just a seller, in the high-quality wheat market, highlighting just how much the landscape has changed in recent years. U.S. wheat farmers face not just global competition, but changing tastes at home. Americans now eat less wheat, about 129 pounds per person in 2024, down from previous decades. Low-carb and gluten-free diets have cut into bread and pasta sales. The gluten-free trend, once for celiac disease, is now mainstream, boosting alternative flours. Every gluten-free purchase is a lost sale for wheat. Even wheat eaters want more whole-grain, organic, and artisanal products. The market is fragmenting, challenging the old commodity system. Farmers must adapt to niche markets and changing consumer demands. Domestic demand is shrinking and shifting, adding pressure to U.S. wheat growers. The industry must fight for relevance both abroad and at home. The American dinner plate is changing. Wheat's place in the U.S. diet is no longer secure. American wheat farmers are adapting to survive. Many are switching to corn and soybeans, chasing better prices and stronger demand. Those sticking with wheat are shifting to hard red spring varieties, or exploring niche markets like organic and heritage grains. This requires new skills in marketing and relationship building. The industry is also evolving. New financial tools like hard red spring wheat futures help manage risk. The financial world recognizes spring wheat's new dominance. But the transition is tough. Generations built on wheat now face uncertainty and loss. Communities feel the impact as wheat's prominence fades. Farmers are caught between tradition and the need to innovate. Their resilience is being tested in a rapidly changing market. Being an American wheat farmer has never been harder. The wheat shift affects your kitchen table. The bread and pasta you buy are increasingly made with Canadian wheat, blended with U.S. grain for quality. Your daily loaf is now a North American product. This reliance on Canadian imports could impact food prices. Any disruption in Canada's harvest could raise costs in the U.S. The food supply chain is more interconnected than ever. The push for high-protein wheat means better bread and pasta, but also encourages U.S. farmers to try specialty grains. You may see more unique flours and heritage grains on store shelves. The story of wheat is a reminder of our global food web. The U.S. dollar, Canadian weather, and global diets all shape what's on your plate. The decline of U.S. wheat and rise of Canada marks a new era. Farms, communities, and industries are being reshaped. Every slice of bread tells the story of this transformation. The wheat you eat is part of a profound agricultural shift.